Hello, friends from across the nation and around the world. I'm Martin, and you are listening to Dad's Bedtime Stories. Tonight, I'm sick again. I got a cold, and not just any cold. I have a dad cold, which is the worst kind of cold you can get. I tried to start recording an episode tonight, but I just kept breaking out coughing, which nobody wants to hear on a bedtime story. So instead, I thought I would break out into my book once again. This time I'm going to bring you a chapter that I think kind of stands on its own. You might want to understand that what's happening right now is that Alex, who's the main character, who has powers of time manipulation, has just arrived at the Superhero Academy, and of course he's immediately thrown into a tournament to fight all of the others with superpowers, because that's what happens at the Superhero Academy. This particular chapter is about his battle with Amber, who has fire powers, and a little bit about Amber's backstory as well. So I really hope you enjoy it. If you like it, you can get all 22 episodes of Unbound Superhero Academy that I've recorded so far on Patreon for as little as $1 per month, which is, I think, an extremely low price, honestly. But now, all you have to do is get as comfy as you can in that bed, close your eyes, and imagine yourself doing what the kid in the story does. Here is Chapter 7 from Unbound Superhero Academy. Chapter 7. Alex woke up pretty tired the next day. He couldn't stop wondering about this whole tournament thing that he was getting himself into. Was he really gonna have to fight the other students from the dorm? That seemed rather excessive. Though, well, if he did want to become a superhero, he'd probably have to get used to this sort of thing. A knock came on the door pretty early in the morning. Alex, time to wake up. I'm making breakfast. So, Alex got up, got dressed in his new school uniform, an almost all-black suit with padding built in. Looking at himself in the mirror, Alex realized that he looked kind of like a ninja in this thing. When he was ready, he headed down from his room, back to the common room area of the dormitory. There, he saw all of his other roommates, or housemates, sitting around a table, eating a large, very delicious-looking breakfast. "Come on, come join us," Martin said, waving over towards the table. Alex walked over, took a seat, and began reaching for all sorts of different things on the table. There was bacon, eggs, pancakes, toast, hash browns. It was honestly like a breakfast buffet. Alex loaded up his plate and began to eat. "Well, how'd you sleep last night?" Martin asked. I slept okay," Alex responded. Honestly, not so great." "Oh, that's normal," Martin said. "You were probably just kept up thinking about this whole tournament thing. But don't worry, it's really not so bad." Alex could see his other dorm mates sort of nodding in agreement to this suggestion. "I mean, you're totally gonna get beat up in all likelihood. It might even hurt a little bit, but don't worry, we have really good healers." That honestly didn't make Alex feel any better. "Anyways, meet up. Our tournament starts in 1 hour. That made Alex sort of lose his appetite. He ate a bit, but something in his stomach just didn't feel right. When the time came, Martin ushered everyone out of the dorms and back down into the secret underground area, the one that was much bigger than one would imagine. The elevator stopped on the same floor it had before, when Alex was meant to test his skills on a whole bunch of robots. They again entered the gigantic room, only this time, instead of being filled with a whole bunch of robots, there was what looked like a fighting ring set up. A completely enclosed mini arena surrounded by plexiglass on every side. Well, everyone, this is where we'll be having our welcoming tournament. A tradition here at the Superhero Academy. Our newfound supers are put up against their classmates to kind of give us a better idea of what they're capable of. But remember, I won't only be using this to assess Alex. I'll be watching all of you. You've come a long way since you got here already, but there's always more to learn, more feedback to give. Your performance here will largely dictate our training going forward. The elevator then dinged and opened up again. Alex and the others looked to see who it was. A woman in a, doctor's lab coat stepped out. Oh yeah, I forgot to say, this here is my good friend Mary. Mary is a healer. You know, like the super kind of healer. These guys know what I'm talking about, but Alex, if you've never experienced it before, the wonders of a superhero cannot be underestimated. I mean, we actually have one on our team already, Mila here. But since she'll be in the tournament as well, I thought it best to have an outside person to help me keep an eye on you guys. Alex didn't know what to think. He was already worried about the tournament, but knowing that they brought a healer in to watch the thing made him wonder if he was going to get hurt. Anyway, enough chit-chat. Alex, it's time to get in the ring. Amber, you're going to be the first opponent. Amber nodded and immediately walked into the arena, but Alex just stood there for a second, uncertain what to do. Martin walked up to him. Listen, kid. To be honest, I can't make you do this. It's kind of a tradition here, but, it's really up to you. If you don't want to, it's perfectly fine. I mean, everyone will totally make fun of you for a long period of time afterwards because they all did it, but you don't have to. Unfortunately, something about that speech made Alex feel like he very much had to. He took a deep breath and responded. No, I'll do it. He walked into the ring on the other side from Amber. Amber stepped one of her feet backwards, took a fighting stance, and then lit up both of her hands with fire. Alex tried to kind of mock the fighting stance and immediately reached into his power. Now, Amber had done this before, a few times actually. Alex noticed that there were actually 4 stars lit across her chest, indicating that her power was at level 4, the scale that they rated these things at. His was only level 3. Martin told him that it could go up quickly, but, well, being one power level below didn't give him a great sense of confidence. He'd never fought anyone with superpowers before. In fact, until the whole superhero academy thing, he didn't even know anyone could have superpowers. But as he stared at a woman whose hands were literally on fire, he couldn't hope to deny it. Amber's powers hadn't come to her in exactly the same way that Alex's did. Hers came to her through necessity. You see, Amber had grown up in a small town in Ontario, a town called Bancroft, and, well, it got cold there sometimes. One of the favorite things to do was snowmobile. And as soon as Amber was 12 years old, she got her snowmobile license. That's right, for some reason, when you're 12, you can do a weekend course and then start driving a snowmobile. Amber and her family loved snowmobiling. They'd take trips every chance they got. Amber wasn't supposed to go out alone, but one night, when her parents were out, she just couldn't resist. She was just gonna take a quick little trip, head down the trail by her house, onto the lake, and then immediately back home. She geared up, hopped on, and fired the thing up. She zipped down the same trail she'd driven thousands of times, and she met the same frozen lake that she'd driven on thousands of times. She zipped across the snow on the wide open lake, and she allowed herself to go a little faster than she normally did, a little faster than her parents let her go. It was a wide open lake after all. When nothing bad happened, well, she continued to increase her speed, whipping up and down the lake. The feeling was exhilarating. That is, until she found herself suddenly flying through the air after hitting a dock that she couldn't see. The snowmobile stopped dead when it made contact with the thing, but Amber didn't. She flew up through the air and crashed down into the ice, breaking through it to the very, very cold water below. She panicked for a moment, and then she remembered the ice picks that she always carried around her neck, something her mother saw in an advertisement and insisted on buying for everyone in the family. When they were together, they looked like a single long tube, but as you pulled them apart from each other, each one was sort of a tubular handle and a large metal ice pick sticking out the other side. Amber fought to pull herself up onto the ice even just a little bit, wearing all of her snow gear. It was much harder to swim than normal. She couldn't kick and get the water moving with the huge boots on, and everything was pulling her down. She reached for the necklace, pulled the two tubes apart, revealing two large ice picks, and slammed one of them into the ice using her right arm. It was so cold that she could hardly breathe as she did it. Her body was going into panic. But strike after strike, right arm, left arm, right arm, left arm, she was able to pull herself up onto the ice. She was freezing. She looked around to see if there were any cottages with anyone in them in the nearby area, but she wasn't actually sure where she was. There was one cottage in front of her, but it looked completely abandoned. Nobody was up right now. Shivering like she'd never shivered before, she made her way onto the shore, up towards the cottage, and began banging on the door, just hoping that someone was there with the lights off. But nobody answered. She decided she'd just sit down for a second. She was so cold there was nothing else she could do. She balled herself up into the fetal position, put her head against her knees, and her life began flashing before her eyes. All of her past memories through childhood, until one particular memory stood out. A memory that, well, she didn't even think was significant. A cartoon show she'd once watched. One where the kids were incredibly hot on a summer day, and the teacher taught them to sort of visualize themselves being colder. That couldn't possibly work, could it? She thought, but with nothing else to do, her mind went there. She began to think about, well, a warm summer day, sitting on a beach under the sun. She thought about sitting near a campfire, the warmth of the fire passing through her body. And maybe it was the desperation, the absolute need for this to work, but something started to click. Her ears became warm first, and then the sensation started to pass through her entire body. She felt a strange vibration in her skin, one that felt like she was, heating up at the cellular level. With the heat moving through her body, it became easier and easier to sort of visualize. Soon the heat began to radiate out beyond her. It didn't hurt, it just felt perfect. And relief came through her body. Her snowsuit even started to dry. After a little while, it had dried out completely. She stood up on the porch, looking out at her arms and hands. She could see little lines of heat above them, lines that kind of warped the air like the air above black pavement on a hot summer's day. She walked back down to the water to check on her snowmobile, but every step she took began to sort of melt the ice. She decided it might not be a good idea to go out there right now. She could see the wreckage of the snowmobile off in the distance by the neighbor's dock, and she couldn't help but wonder exactly how she was going to tell her parents. She headed home, taking the road instead. Every footstep melted the snow below her in the same way it had to the lake. She could still see the little distorted lines radiating off of her body, but she felt perfectly comfortable, warm. She eventually made it home, and when her parents got home, she broke the news to them. As you can imagine, that didn't go over well. But it did eventually sort of pass. And since she no longer had a snowmobile and her mother had sworn to never buy her one again, Amber had a lot more time on her hands. She found herself sitting in her bedroom with very little to do. She thought back to the moment of the crash, to the moment of her warming herself up on those cottage steps, and she decided to try to do it again. She practiced day after day, visualizing becoming hotter, and sure enough, it kicked in. It worked just like it had before. After practicing for a while, she found she could get even hotter than she had before. After a close call lighting a piece of paper on fire, she moved to working on this skill outside. Amber no longer required a coat. She could produce all of her own heat after all. After a little bit of practice, she got better and better. The air got hotter and hotter, until one day, she heated things up so much that the very air around her caught on fire. Amber never told her parents. She just kept experimenting on heating up the air around her, heating up other objects by touching them, and eventually, as all kids this age tend to, she decided that documenting this might be the best idea. Over the coming months, she videotaped new powers she'd learned. Shooting fire from her hands by sort of heating up the air in front of her. Throwing fireballs, and one of her favorites, just becoming super, super hot and heating up the air all around her. One day, against her better judgment, she decided to post one of those videos online, with the hopes of making lots of money and gaining lots of fans. What she gained instead was a visit from two men, Mr. Black and Mr. Smith. They offered Amber the same opportunity Alex would receive almost half a year later, to attend a superhero academy where she could work on her powers. Just like Alex, something in her head told her that this was a great opportunity. So, she ended up at the academy. She even had a welcoming tournament of her own, though because she'd arrived so early in the year, she actually had to battle against some second-year students. Amber didn't really regret the decision, though. She was happy to be at the Superhero Academy. They taught her more about using her powers, more about fighting and combat than she ever could have learned in Bancroft. And now she was determined to graduate, to become someone who could help others. But in order to do that, she had to prove herself. She didn't really care that Alex was the new kid. She only cared that he was competition. If he thought that she'd go easy on him just because he'd never done this before, well, he'd be wrong. As the two stared each other down, Alex activated his power as well. He began speeding up his existence until he was at least twice as fast as Amber. Amber stepped forward and unleashed a blast of fire. It moved pretty quickly, but moving at this speed, Alex was able to dodge. He ducked underneath as another blast of fire came towards him. Again, he easily moved out of the way. Oh, so you're like some kind of speedster, huh? Amber announced. She continued to unleash bursts of fire, and Alex continued to dodge them left and right as he moved himself up towards her. When he finally got in range, Alex hesitated. Amber was a real person, and he didn't want to do the same thing he'd done to Shane. He still wasn't sure how hard he could hit moving at these speeds. And did he really want to hit Amber? What had she ever done to him? Unfortunately, even moving at twice the speed of a normal person wasn't enough to stop what happened next. In his hesitation, Amber unleashed one of her favorite attacks, a sort of area of effect attack, where she lit up her entire body and began to heat the area around her as much as she possibly could. Alex saw the distorted lines form in the air, and then saw the flames burst out from all around her. He jumped backwards, but the heat was intense. It became difficult to breathe. His face felt like it was burning, and his lungs couldn't deal with the air they were trying to take in. Alex quickly moved back to the edge of the ring, but he couldn't get far enough away. As Amber heated up the entire room, he dropped to a knee, sweat forming on every part of his body. "All right, that's enough," Martin announced. Amber immediately cut the fire out, and the room started to return to a more bearable temperature. Mary, the healer that Martin had invited, ran into the arena and over to Alex. "Are you okay?" she asked. I think so," Alex replied. "I'm just hot. And I think you have kind of a sunburn, to be honest. Let me take care of that." She placed her hand on Alex's forehead, and suddenly a feeling of warmth passed through his body, through his veins and down to his very toes. A cooling sensation came across all of his skin. Alex, all of a sudden, felt perfectly fine, perfectly refreshed. He looked down at his hands, and they'd lost the kind of pinkish color they'd taken on in the heat. This was amazing. Alex had clearly lost the fight, but he was pretty sure that if he hadn't hesitated so much, he probably could have taken her. Unless, of course, she used that whole area attack right away. Once she'd done that, it had become impossible to get inside her range. That's something that he'd have to work on. Martin came over as well and helped pick him up off the ground. "Well, kid, how do you feel?" he asked. I'm all right, I guess." "Yeah, and don't worry, we all hesitated first. I know you were probably worried about hurting her, but here, you don't have to be that worried. Going at twice the speed, well, kid, you're probably not gonna kill anyone. You've seen what Mary can do in healing people." "Right," Alex responded. "I just don't know how much force to use. When we were doing the testing, I was able to break all the way through the robots. And with Shane, well, I did way more damage than I wanted to." I get it, kid. But, well, I guess if you're moving at twice the speed, you're gonna have to punch half as fast if you want it to feel like a normal punch anyways. And even if you do it a little too hard, well, I'm here to stop you. Believe me, they didn't put me in charge because I lack power. If I get worried about you hurting someone, I'll put a stop to the fight right away. How would you do that, though? Alex asked. And in response, Alex was suddenly lifted up off of the ground. Well, it depends on the situation, but I might do something like this, Martin said, then gently began to lower Alex back down. Some sort of telekinesis? Alex wondered. Anywho, grab some water and get ready for your next match. You're all healed up, so there shouldn't be much time needed to rest. Martin reached his hand out, and a bottle of water shot from a table sitting outside the area, through the door, and into his hand. He then sort of threw it towards Alex. Only the bottle kind of floated up in the air and perfectly into Alex's hand. The Superhero Academy just kept getting weirder. He knew others would have powers, but he wasn't exactly ready for this amount of strangeness in one day. Alex drank the water